Hey guys, Captain Levi here. I'm finally back after quite the long little hiatus. Actually, it was like 5 days, but regardless, let's get into it. This is going to be my Kingsglaive review. I know I'm definitely late on this. There's been a lot of stuff happening lately. First of all, I want to start off with apologizing to FFC and the FFC's crowd community and all together, just because I messed up big time last week. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but regardless from that, let's get into the Kingsglaive review. Alright guys, with the Kingsglaive review, I really wanted to hold off on this just because I wanted to see what everybody else was going to be saying, and from what I'm seeing, dude, it's almost total fucking hate, and that's ridiculous. Like, this movie's actually really damn good, and there's going to be a lot of key points that I'm going to point out about. Okay, with point number one, I want to start off with consistency. If you're somebody who actually likes action movies, like big time, like really, like you actually do like action, like a lot of action, I can tell you that Kingsglaive is the movie for you. Because, dude, this movie is so fucking jam-packed with action scenes. I'm talking from beginning to end. The movie starts off with a brief, a brief entrance into the world that you're being dropped into, and then straight into a battlefield. And that's how the movie starts off. And then, like, you probably get like 5-10 minutes of no action, and then bam, and then it's right back into action, and it just stays jam-packed with action. Like, it keeps you at the edge of your seat, and especially if you're a Final Fantasy fan and you like movies in general, like with Advent Children and shit, you'll definitely like Kingsglaive, because there's so much action. With Advent Children, there was long ass sequences of no action, and you were begging and begging and begging for more action. But with Kingsglaive, it's a whole different ballgame. There's a damn load of action, and there's a lot of sequences where when they're not even talking, or there's no action, they're talking about the plot, and it's actually leading up to something, which is of course Final Fantasy XV. So Square Enix definitely knocked it out of the ballpark with that. I'll give them that, most definitely. Now moving on to my second point, I was gonna say that if you're just a Final Fantasy fan in general, you'll love this movie, because there's so many little innuendos in it, like the little Marlboro on the TV when Nyx is watching TV after he comes back from the first battle. He's just watching TV, and there's like a little cartoon Marlboro like getting locked up. Like, that's so cool. Like, there's a bunch of little innuendos in there, especially during the ending like fight scenes of the game. There were so many badass innuendos, and if anybody watched Final Fantasy Peasant's video about who that enemy could be within the first video of Final Fantasy 15, that first little clip that you get before the game starts off with the broken down regalia, I have to agree with him, because I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, so I'm just going to leave it at that. If anything, I'll just leave the link to that video in the description. But going past that, guys, we're going to move on to the third point. Third point being Miss Lady Lunafreya. Miss Lady Lunafreya, I don't understand exactly how in the hell she goes from looking so good, and I know it sounds not like in a pervy way, but like, she looks fucking pretty in Final Fantasy 15, but like in Kingsglaive, I'm not gonna say she's not pretty in Kingsglaive, but in Final Fantasy 15 she looks better. She looks like she's older in Kingsglaive for some reason. It's like she went back in time. I don't know. Then again, she is an oracle that can speak to God, so I have no fucking idea what's going on with that. But besides that part, or that point, we're gonna move on to my fourth point, which is, how in the hell is Noctis going? I mean, they laid the plot out perfect. I mean, the point is just this, that 15 is going to be very, very, very fucking strong and big, towards the fact that they definitely proved the point that Noctis is gonna have to go through some crazy ass hardship, because the Kingsglaive alone, they basically couldn't do shit. They made it clear that the Kingsglaive aren't shit without the king. And if you watch the movie, you obviously find out that everything goes wrong to Lucius. Let's just say that everything happens and everything goes bad for Lucius. Everything goes horrendously horrible, and then that's when Final Fantasy 15 is gonna start. So you lose the whole entire kingdom. You lose the crystal. You lose your king. You lose everything. I mean, shit. You even lose. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
You even lose Crow. So I thought that was fucking crazy that they actually they're putting you in this position as Noctis, and he's so damn young. He's so damn young. Even though, you know, by the time that you reclaim the throne, you're gonna be like much older and whatnot. But regardless, it's still fucking crazy. I think they did a damn good job with this movie. And no, I'm not just sitting here just sucking Square Enix's dick. Like, I'm about to call out the bad points that I didn't like about the movie, but you know, I gotta give credit where it's due. I have to. It's a damn good movie regardless. So, getting on to the parts that were kind of iffy for me was what was just kind of, it was just kind of Nyx towards the end of the movie. But even then, there's still a positive light to it, because Nyx, if you watch, like I said, if you watch Final Fantasy Peasants video about who Nyx could possibly be, it's kind of strong. It's really strong and very high, or I would say it's highly opinionated. Just to whomever is watching the movie, especially if you're not into Final Fantasy, you definitely won't connect the dots here. But Nyx ends up doing a whole lot of shit that your regular Kingsglaive member doesn't do. And like I said, in this movie, they make it clear that Kingsglaive members aren't shit without the king and the crystal. Without their powers that they borrow from the king, they aren't shit at all. They're just like regular soldiers almost. They all have the same fucking abilities, but Nyx is the only one who ends up having the ability of the kings, or the king himself, which is fucking dope. And that's something I really like, but at the same time didn't like, because they gave him too much power. He was kind of too much of a superhero, but they did it right. So I feel it's more like 60-40 on that part is how I feel. But regardless from that, guys, I really enjoyed the damn movie. If anybody else agrees, let me know. Like, honestly, I really enjoyed the movie. But if you want me to rate it, you know, like 1 through 10, I would definitely give it. Me being a Final Fantasy fan, I would definitely give it a 9.5 out of 10. But not being a Final Fantasy fan, I'd probably give it like 7.5 out of 10. Honestly, like, honest opinion. Not being a Final Fantasy fan, I'd probably give it a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. And that's still pretty fucking high. That's pretty successful for anybody to go watch a movie in theaters. So, that was pretty cool, guys. But besides from that's my conclusion to my Final Fantasy 15 or Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 review. I know I've had a lot of people asking me for my review on this on the Final Fantasy community website. So I'm just going to go ahead and just lay this out for you guys. And I appreciate everybody who supported me within the past month. I know I fucked up big time last week, but it's all good. You know, live and get past that. So besides that, we're going to just end this video here. And like I said, I appreciate everybody who subscribed past month, all the likes, all the good comments, not the toxic piece of shits. Just kidding. But yeah, guys, Captain Levi is out of here. You guys take it easy and peace.